Hello, I'm Pop Seagon, and welcome back to my video series on my personal martial art, Bagua Kuntao Silat. Today, we're going to work on the first thing I show students when they show up to my class, and that is proper stepping. This is a video on the fundamentals of stepping, so you know how to use your weight properly. Mostly maintain your balance, how to issue power, how to accept power, force. And this is the first step on that journey of fundamental stepping. First of all, you have to be relaxed at all times. It's not that easy when you have somebody who wants to engage you in a physical altercation. The first thing that happens is you get tense. You get tense mentally before anything, but you also tense up physically, which throws everything off. Balance, breathing, everything else. So first thing, the Chinese concept of song, which is essentially relaxed awareness. You want to maintain just enough tension in order to stay upright, stay balanced, but not any more muscular tension than necessary to maintain your skeletal frame and balance. That way, anytime you're using anything, you're under a relaxed state. So your joints stay open, your breathing is natural, your spine is natural. How you do this is allow your weight to sink into your feet. Breathe naturally with your teeth together, not clenched, but together, and the tongue pressed gently on the roof of your mouth, immediately behind your front teeth. So when you breathe, breathe in with your nose, out with your nose, and imagine the breath going into your body and deep into your feet and deep into the ground. And naturally, you're just going to have your diaphragm press against your intestines. And every breath out, you allow it to come out of your nose. And imagine the tension just flowing out. This way, every time you breathe, your weight sinks deeper into the ground, and your breath allows your body to relax more by the tension just evaporating. So do this, and you should feel the center of your mass, the center of your body, here around what they call the lower dantian, about 2 inches below your navel, is the center of your weight, center of your mass, center of your weight under gravity. And from here, all of your movements are going to initiate with the center, your movement of your body. So when you take that first step, and in Bagua Kuntao Silat, your hips are going to move your foot. So with your center affecting and initiating that movement. So when that happens is your hip is going to rotate around the center and cause your foot to move forward. When that happens, all your weight shifts to one side, and if you're properly relaxed, just like the weight at the bottom of the string being your leg, it'll collapse into what they call a scissor step, and then your center mass is going to initiate movement from your foot, moving forward, rotating around that hip, and comes down, and all of your weight is going to transfer over into that foot. When that occurs naturally, the weight is all into this leg, and this again is relaxed, your rear foot. And if your rear foot is relaxed and the other leg is like a string, but it's under a little bit of tension because the weight of the leg itself has the weight of the foot against the earth, and when you stop, all remaining weight is here. You want to move it forward. The center of your mass causes your hip to rotate, move forward, and it's going to collapse against this one into that what they call the scissor step. If you do it properly, your foot stays flat. Your heel doesn't come up very much. Your front foot doesn't come up very much, just enough to affect movement and allow friction to dissipate from the earth so that your foot moves forward. And then the weight transfers again. Same, repeats itself. Transfer. You can also turn see here. We'll speed it up a little bit for the camera, or I will speed it up to allow you to see it in movement. When you do it naturally, it looks natural, other than your weight is under your command at all times. Your balance is under your command at all times. See here, I'm going to effect a turn. All the weight's going to shift. And I did a long, easy turn so you can practice at home. When you get better, we'll get shorter turns, quicker turns. The weight shifting is much, much faster. And eventually it's casually, and you're walking normally. I walk this way all the time now, and it looks natural because it is natural. Even when I'm going backwards, I shift so my hips are rotating around my center mass, stabilized by my spine, turning this, and the weight shifts gradually. You do it smoothly, it looks like normal walking, except a practiced eye will look and say, that guy walks differently. I get talks all the time like, you're too big to be walking that quietly. It's because my weight adjusts naturally and smoothly from foot to foot. Even when I wear these boots, you can see here, slow down so you can follow. And you don't force the scissor step. You don't force the collapse of your weight. What you do is you allow the relaxed movement of your body, which causes your leg to close against your other leg. And in your center is what's causing your hip to rotate and your foot to move forward naturally. If you're walking like this, it's because you're keeping tension in your quad, or the inner part of your legs. You don't want that unless you want to affect that on purpose. While you're naturally stepping, you don't want that. If you do this properly and practice it, and I'll show it more later, this is just the fundamental stepping movement that all of my students get. Without this, your balance is not really under your control. This also allows you to start feeling the ground path so that you can manipulate your weight against the ground with the ground so you can affect power and use energy to your advantage. Energy being energy that you create and utilize in your environment. Also you create with your own movement. This is necessary. Footwork is a vital component of Bagua Kuntao Silat. It is a must. I use footwork more than most other styles, except perhaps Bagua Zhang and a few other styles that incorporate a great deal. It's not simply for evasion, it also helps with techniques, it helps with center movement, it helps with affecting greater power, it helps with absorbing power or moving it around, and usage of the proper footwork technique, the fundamentals of stepping. You don't have to be slow. You don't have to do this slowly like in Tai Chi Chuan. Later on, you'll get much, much quicker. The more you do it, the quicker and better you'll get. I suggest stepping in 4, making a turn, come back 4 more. Once you get good at it and you're just relaxed stepping, later on, I know that wasn't 4, but later on, you can affect what they call the dragon stepping. Some styles call it chain stepping, where if you want to practice it at a higher rate, the foot goes forward and in that little bit, and that's to help your middle utilize your hips. It's the force, it's the practice to force you to use, trying to stay in frame here, to force you to use your center to move your foot. And it's making you use that energy, maintaining your balance, and causing you to use your center to move your foot, as opposed to how most people walk. You know how most people walk. They learn it from when they're young. They basically pitch their head forward and their feet catch up to keep them from falling on the ground. That's how most people walk. We don't want to do that. We want to maintain balance at all times. So if something happens, you stop. You just stop. You don't have to gather yourself. You don't have to worry about recoil. You just stop. If you need to turn, you just turn. You don't need to stop, make adjustment, then turn. Wherever you are at all times, you're maintaining balance. And this footwork practice will help you. One of the reasons for circle walking is to help this at a fundamental level. So when you do this, simply, like I said, make the 4 steps. And it seems easy. It is after a lot of practice. It's hard for me to slow it down so that you can easily see it. However, once you get it, it clicks and you keep doing it and it becomes second nature. Second nature for me for many, many years. It needs to be second nature for you too. Once you get it, it's an easy thing and you do it with everything. You must practice though, and it's simple to do. You gotta be relaxed or your feet won't work properly. You're fighting yourself, your balance, your skeleton. Allow your skeleton just to rest in its upright position Tailbone tucked underneath, just slightly. Spine straight, head suspended like from a string. Breathing easy, relaxed, weight on one leg. This leg is collapsed over like on a string. Your center, rotating your hips and pushing your foot out. And once you get used to that, you can go ahead and put your palms in front of you. Imagine your palms pushing against the ground. You're rubbing on the ground when you're stepping and doing that same step. This will help you get used to maintaining the ground path in your palms while you're stepping. This is another little trick, fundamentals. Day one of practice with me, same thing. And when you're turning, just step 90 degrees, step out, do the same thing. How your hands look, a large triangle like this. Imagine your palms rubbing the ground. They're not really, but imagine they are, hanging loosely, shoulders dropped, spine erect, head suspended like from a string, tailbone tucked under, and you're just stepping. You can do it as long as you want until you have to turn around. In the beginning, it's difficult to maintain concentration. That's why I suggest 4 steps. After you do easily 4 steps before you have to turn, do 8 steps. Also, the turning helps. When you can maintain concentration in the turning while you're maintaining your hands and the rubbing and that connection with the earth, it gets much easier. Thank you for joining. Remember, subscribe, click like, I welcome comments, and go check out my website, www.popssigong.com. That's www.popssigong.com. Thanks for watching.